Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is Friday Practice 2 ahead of the 2022 Mexico City Grand Prix. If you are new to the channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, then please do get yourself subscribed because I'm live every single qualifying and every single Grand Prix from the Formula 1 World Championship. This weekend is round 20 out of 22. But this is going to be a Pirelli tyre test, so it might be a bit of a long session. I think it's going to be an hour and a half, the session. And yeah, we're going to get into it. We're still here, you know, Pirelli tyre test settings. How are we doing, Ryan? Let me turn the music down. We don't want that on full blast for an hour now. But yeah, how are we doing, guys? Welcome in. Ernesto, welcome to the stream. Kim is here or was here, or Kim, welcome as well. Ryan tunes in. How are we doing, guys? Yeah, so any subjects, topics or talking points, get them in the chat. Because it's not even a practice session, this. FP2, what a lie. Practice 2, what a lie. It's a test session. So, you know, it's one of them. I'll hit play on Sky in a minute when they're back off the ad break. And then we can get into it. But yeah, brilliant. I know, brilliant, innit, Ryan? Yeah, he's doing brilliant. He's always brilliant, is Ryan Tune, aren't you, Ryan? You're always on top of the world. But yeah, also guys, please do drop me a like, guys, even though it's you know, it's not going to be the most exciting stream that I'll ever do in my life, but please do drop me a like anyway. Helps the channel get noticed, and you never know, by the time the race rolls around on Sunday night, we might have a few in if we're lucky, you know what I mean? Touch wood, cross your fingers, all the rest of it, and it might be we might be on for a good one. Incidentally, when we get to the proper sessions, which is tomorrow night, when we're done with the Pirelli 2023 tyre tests, oh God, I tell you, yeah, this is going to be a long one. Yeah, when we're done with the tyre testing and we get into the real stuff tomorrow, times to know are qualifying 9 PM. I'll be on actually for practice 3 at 6 PM, so call it 10 to 6. I'll be on for practice 3, which will be crucial because this session is a tyre test. Practice 3 will be busy and they'll be trying to get out there on the soft tyres, and practice 3 will be hectic. So, you know, join me for that 6 PM tomorrow. If you miss that, or if you're not bothered about that, quali 9 PM. I'll be live at 1:45. Yeah, qualifying 9 PM, so pole position shootout will be like 10 to 10 PM for pole position on that. And then the Mexican Grand Prix, or as they're calling it, Mexico City Grand Prix. I don't know why there's that distinction. They don't call it the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Or maybe they actually do call it the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. But they don't usually call it by the city. They usually call it by the country. But instead of going for the Mexican Grand Prix, they've gone Mexico City Grand Prix. Probably some money involved in that. But yeah, so it is Mexico City Grand Prix. 8 PM lights out on Sunday evening. I'll be live at 7:30 for an 8 PM lights out. Before the race, I'll do a little bit of a preview, a bit of a rundown of... let me fast forward through this. Apologies for the lights and all that. Lights in my face. Yeah. So on Sunday, I'll be live 7:30 PM for 8 PM race start. Just go through some of the results of the season so far and all the rest of that. You know, see who's looking good going into the race. And I used to do that preview originally I did it on a Thursday. That was dead. Then moved it to Friday before FP1. But now I have it on a Sunday, half an hour before the race starts, which is where it should have always been. So yeah, we'll do a bit of a preview. Of which I've got to completely redo all the stats and everything. Because what happened is, it's a nightmare for me. I mean, it's good for Fernando, but a nightmare for me, right? What they've done is they're flipping... Alonso got a big penalty after the race in America last week in Texas. So even though he finished P7, he ended up, I think, 14th or something like that. So he kind of got virtually disqualified from the race. but he's had that decision overturned. So what? Basically, I did all the stats as if he was like 14th, right? So gone through, changed all the numbers. Oh, it takes hours. It's an absolute. It takes longer than it should. Anyway, go through, change all the stats, and then, bang, decision gets overturned. So he gets his P7 back. So the guy who was 7th is now 8th. The guy who was 8th is now 9th. The guy who was 9th is now 10th. The guy who was 10th doesn't get any points. So I've got to redo all the stats. So get in, you know? So, yeah, but we'll be ready. Ernesto, everyone in chat. Yes. I don't think there's going to be many. But, yeah, hopefully we'll get a few in for qualifying tomorrow night and for the race. But welcome in, guys. Let me get the headphones on. Let's see what's happening. They've got Natalie Pinkman and Danica Patrick in the commentary box. Looks like. And yeah, this picture is actually of the circuit last year. They've redone this painting. This paint scheme of the circuit in the final sector has been redone. So it's not really relevant, the picture behind me. It's 2021 settings. I'll get a new picture in it. But yeah, I'll put a different picture in for the background for tomorrow. Yeah, because when there'll be pictures from this session for tomorrow. Boom. Yeah. Anyway, how are we? What happened in Emmerdale, Kim? No, I'm joking. There'll be stuff to talk about. The problem is, the only problem with it being... Oh, wait, let me get the live timings on. I might have to refresh it. I'll refresh it. Right. Right. So... The reason why Pirelli tyre test is annoying is because it's not relevant to the competitiveness of the cars for this weekend. So it's kind of difficult. No idea. What? Oh, how fast do you think one of those green buses would go around that track? What are F1 cars doing here? 1 minute 20. Call a quick time 1 minute 18. 1 minute 20. I reckon a normal road car you could double that. So let's say a Ford Focus, or do it in. You could double it. Yeah, you could double that. What, 2 minutes 40. Yeah, so I reckon a normal car goes round in just under 3 minutes, I reckon. So a bus you got to be talking nearly 5 minutes. Yeah, a bus 5 minutes a lap. Yeah. Oh, my. And that's if they're absolutely throwing it round. Yeah, if you were throwing it round, you could probably do it in 4 minutes something, yeah. You get down turn 4, imagine in a bus with brakes on, turning the bloody dustbin lid, you know what I mean, of a wheel like that. Round turn 3, yeah, you're a good 4 or 5 minutes a lap. Right, we've got the live timings on at least. Now, how are we going? By the way, is anyone live? I don't think Jams has done a beer o'clock, has he? Is anyone else on a beer o'clock? I don't even think anyone's live tonight. It's a dead Friday night. Oh, this is as good as it gets, and this is a Formula One test session, and this is as good as it gets. No. Oh, Sean's on. Sean's doing Call of Duty. Oh, he's on a be right back mode, him. Oh, Sean's playing Call of Duty. Yeah. But there's no flipping. In fact, I saw. I don't think she's still live, but I saw Carly was live before doing. She had a Halloween fancy dress competition on her channel before. She was at a Halloween party. I don't know if it was her own party or she'd gone to a party, but it was, yeah, they went full out on the costumes on that one. Anyway, yeah, it's an hour and a half session. Let me set the timer up because the session is underway. Let me put some serious minutes on this clock. So what's an hour and a half in minutes? 80, 90. So we've got 80. Yeah, that's how long's left. Right, so now I've got to minimize that, and then we've got to grab that and go like that. There we go. Easy done. Hour and 27 minutes to go. Not too long. The thing is, an actual race, the Mexican Grand Prix will be shorter than this practice session. How mad is that? This practice session, hour and a half. The actual Mexican Grand Prix, hour and 20. Something like that, hour and 25. Well, that's providing no safety cars, red flags, or any of that stuff. As the fans cheer Sergio Perez round on his first lap in practice 2, he is on the 2023 tyre, which is a mystery. We don't know if it's a soft tyre, hard tyre, medium. It's like a mystery 2023 compound. So the lap times become very difficult to read because what does it all mean? I don't know what it all means. But he's gone purple sector 2 anyway, fastest of anybody. And yeah, the fans cheering him round. Let me... Yeah, the timings are on screen. And yeah. Let's chill. At least we're on. I mean, realistically, you know, this session is a bit of a weird one, but I thought, nah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Why not? Latifi goes P9, Verstappen P2. At least they put a little T. What have they put on these graphics here? Oh yeah, so T. So it says tyre there. That row that says tyre. If it's T, that's the 2023 testing tyre. I assume the T stands for test tyre. Something, I don't know. And then the yellow ring around the M, that'll be a set of 2022 mediums. So Russell and Ocon have actually set a lap time on relevant tyres. Everybody else is on the T's. He's on the 2023 tyres, as we see Sebastian Vettel putting on his special Red Bull helmet for this weekend in... oh, what's the word? Not testament. I forget the damn. In respect of. In tribute. Is the word. In tribute to the late Red Bull founder Dietrich Mateschitz, who sadly passed away about a week ago. It was actually before qualifying, so yeah, who passed away 6 days ago, did Dietrich Mateschitz. And of course, the thing is, you know, Sebastian Vettel's running the tribute helmet because Sebastian Vettel was close to Dietrich because when Dietrich was in better health and used to go to the races, Sebastian Vettel was the one winning him championships. You know, and there's footage and everything of them embracing each other when Vettel was winning those championships from 2010 to 2014. You know, he was a big part of the team at the circuit. We've not really seen him at the circuit for the last few years. I don't think he was. I think he was ill for a while. I don't know the details, but I think he was not well for a while. But yeah, so Sebastian Vettel was a big part of Red Bull. Obviously, you know, with his 4 back-to-back world championships in the 2010s, in the early 2010s. So even though he's driving for Aston Martin these days, he's rocking that Red Bull helmet this weekend as a very nice tribute as Ocon goes P9. So I think Ocon and Russell are the... What did they just say then? Wait a minute. Let me go back a bit. Let me back it up. Let me have a listen. Oh, this is even more complicated than I thought. Let me listen to that again. Say it again, Natalie. Right, so if you ran in P1, so if you drove the car in practice 1, then you have to dedicate the entire session. I get it. This is why Russell and Ocon have set... I get it. Right. If you took part in practice 1, which all but 4 of the drivers did, then you have to take this entire... It makes sense, man. It makes sense. So, right. If you took part in practice 1, you have to dedicate the entire session to the 2023 tyre. But if you didn't take part in practice 1, you get to do the first 45 minutes of this session on the normal 2022 tyres. Makes sense. So you're not at a massive disadvantage. If you've given out your car... Yeah, because... It makes sense because you could give out your car for practice 1 and then not be on relevant tyres in practice 2. You could end up on Saturday morning having not done a representative lap. So, yeah, so it makes sense. But it's just complicated to say. Wow. Will Rally. Welcome to the stream. We've had a clarification. Will, about what this session is about. No. The reason why, and this was been the same in the US, but I never picked up on it. But the reason why everyone's on the test tyre, apart from, as you see there, coming up, who's that, Sonoda, right? Sonoda's on the normal tyres. Ocon's on the normal tyres. Russell on the normal tyres. Why? Because they missed FP1, so they're allowed to use the normal tyres for the first half of this session. So for the first 45 minutes, who would be the other one? So for the first 45 minutes, Russell, Ocon, Sonoda, and who's the other one? Who's the other one that ran in FP1? It'll be Albon as well. Yeah, so Russell, Ocon... What did I say? Yeah, Russell, Ocon, Sonoda and Albon can all run the normal 2022 tyres, the relevant tyres, for the first half of this session. Oh, Formula One's nice and simple, innit? Jesus Christ. This sport is always it's always overcomplicated, this sport. There's always 1,000,001 things to know. And I've been watching it 17 years and I only know half the stuff. Well, I'd like to think I know more than half, but I just certainly don't know everything. Jeepers. So, basically, that's why there's a mixture where some drivers are on the flipping medium tyre and everyone else is on the test tyre. Because if you took part in FP1, like the other 16 drivers, you took part in FP1, then you've got to dedicate this entire session to the test tyre. And Martin Brundle, again, as he normally is in FP2, in a brilliant position. This is where Verstappen spun in the first practice session, where Martin Brundle is turned 10 and 11. I don't know I should learn the numbers, the corner numbers in Mexico. I don't know. I know the layout, but I don't know that's turn 12, that's turn 15, that I don't. I should learn that. But he is at turn 10 and 11. In other words, the fast right-left at the end of that middle sector, the end of that snaky middle sector where Verstappen spun. And what a great place it is to stand. Obviously, they're just on out laps. I've not seen anyone on a flying lap yet where Martin is, but fantastic place to watch the Mexican Grand Prix from there. And there's no grandstand there. Madness. They have the grandstand down the big straights and that, but really, that's where you want to be, where he is. Only marshals get that kind of... But yeah, welcome in, Will. It's a shame. The last two FP2 sessions have been dead, isn't it? Because it's this Pirelli test. They were going to do it in Japan as well, but because it was raining, because the weather was so bad, they couldn't do it. Let's have a look at Lando Norris then, coming through this. Even on Sky, they're making a joke that it's going to be hard to. Even on Sky, they're having a joke saying you've got an hour and a half to fill. You're not going to be desperate to be commentating on this. Oh man, I don't think they'll be doing a tyre test in Brazil, will they? This is a flavour of doing, you know what this is? This is a preview of winter testing watch along coming February. I might do it. Mind you, they used to televise it. Well, they'd never televise it. Then they did. And now I don't think they are again. So I don't know. It was on Sky for a bit. Anyway, Verstappen goes quickest. Jack Doohan in the commentary box. Let's see what he's got to say. Oh, he took part in... his mic's not working. Jack Doohan. Alpine with the special edition Mexico merch as well, which is unusual. But Jack Doohan, is he British? I think he might be. Although I'm not 100% sure on that. I should follow the junior categories better. But yeah, Jack Doohan was in Esteban Ocon's car for practice 1. And now he's in the commentary box for practice 2. Well, just to give an interview on how the session went, basically. Alpine Academy driver, Jack Doohan. He'd been told by Esteban on very uncertain terms, don't crash my car, mate. Basically. Yeah, I can't imagine the regular drivers, if you like. I can't imagine the regular crew enjoy giving the car away for a practice session, but it's part of the regulations. It's a good thing. Helps the young drivers get a go outside of a simulator or a test session or an Abu Dhabi Young Driver Day or whatever, Young Driver Test. At least they get more opportunities to drive the car. So I back the regulation, but the drivers that miss out will be like, you'd be a bit fuming on the sidelines. Although it's the end of the season, I mean, it's sort of wrapped up. You know, I mean, you've got the battle for 4th and all that, but. Hey, Declan, cheers, bro. Declan, great. Are you from... Is you from Jams's streams? Or Denver's? Or I don't know. One of the two, innit, Declan? Yeah, from Jamsa, is it? Yeah. Welcome in. It's only... both, yeah. Yeah, me as well. Both. Rotate between the two. Yeah, welcome in. It's just a practice session, so there's not a hell of a lot to talk about. A practice session that is actually more of a test session, so it's not even representative lap times because they're on the testing tyres for 2023, so it's not even representative to the rest of this weekend. So yeah, it's a bit of a wild one. It'd be like Jamsa doing a watch along on an Arsenal training session, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's one of them. But we do it. And then we get to the real stuff tomorrow when it gets to qualifying tomorrow night. 9 p.m. for qualifying tomorrow. And then the Mexico City Grand Prix Sunday night, 8 p.m. Lights out. Will be live 7:30 for the race on Sunday night. That's when it really gets. That's when we go full commentary mode. Then no more chair, no more chilling, no more chatting. We'll go bang. We're in. But oh yeah, that's one to talk to Kim about. I don't know a hell of a lot about football, even less the Scottish Premier League. I don't think I've ever watched a Scottish Premier League game. Ever. So probably not an expert on that one, mate. But what I do watch is Formula 1. Oh yeah. I was born watching this. And I tell you what, they might be on the testing tyres, but the gap's still extremely close. Perez on a 1 minute 21.5, Verstappen 9 thousandths of a second. So at least the tyre is consistent. I don't know what other conclusions you can draw from that. At least Perez and Verstappen are getting the same lap time, virtually exactly the same lap time out of it. Sainz a 10th off. I suppose that in a way it's relevant in a way that they're all running the same tyre. I assume they're all running the same compound, even though it is for next season. I assume they're all running the same compound, so it's sort of representative in a way. But Russell should go quickest because he's on a set of soft tyres that are from this year, so meh. Oh yeah, Kim, I know. In fact, for next season, I'll have a better microphone so that it doesn't. And I'll have to hold it really far away, as well. Will help. But yeah, when it's lights out and away we go. Whoa, mate. You know, I don't know if you remember Murray Walker. Do you remember Murray Walker, Kim? Yeah. I'm a bit like that. Here he is, look, I've got a book here, look, actually, speak of him. Here he is, look, do you remember him? He used to do comments, you know what I mean? This is what I'm reading, you know. I'm next one. Next Murray Walker now. I'll give it a go. See, look at that. This is the quote, look. Murray's enthusiasm and breathless energy are an inspiration to us all. Someone will be saying about me one day. But until then, it's just R.I.P. headphone users. Yeah, that's my quote. He's got his energy and inspiration. His energy and enthusiasm was inspiration to us all. My tribute is R.I.P. headphone users. But yeah, we fully go for it. Oh yeah, when it's race day. This is just chilling. This. Kevin in the... That's not even Kevin in the car, man. I was like, who sat in that car? Because that ain't Kevin Magnussen. Yeah, Russell and Tsunoda 1-2, because they're the only ones on the correct... Well, they're the only ones on the actual tyre. Replay on board of Carlos Sainz, losing the rear end to 9, but didn't spin it like Verstappen. Held on. Doing a bit rubbish. What, in general, or you mean right now? Because right now, if you look at the leaderboard right now, this is not relevant at all. This is like a test session. So reading these results is means absolutely nothing. But in general, if you mean in general, unfortunately, Mercedes haven't built a championship winning car this season. He's tried his best with what he's got, but maybe he'll come back strong. But right now is not relevant because they're all on mad tyres. Ocon, I think Albon should be on the softs as well. It's a weird scenario right now because there's four drivers that are allowed to use relevant tyres, and the other 16 are not allowed to use relevant tyres. Such is the simplicity of Formula One. It's always overcomplicated, and this puts the cherry on the cake of overcomplicated. So Russell, Tsunoda, Ocon, and I think the other one's Albon. They're allowed to use the relevant tyres for the first half of this session. Everyone else is basically doing a test session. So it's not about what lap times you set. It's about basically product testing. So 16 out of the 20 drivers are on a product testing day where they just want to see if the tyres are actually decent for next year. So get in. I remember him spoke so quickly, I'm sure he breathed through his ears. Oh, he was an absolute legend, Murray Walker, man. Murray Walker, a legend. Oh, is Jack doing Australian? Wait, I've missed this. Let me just go back and see what Ted's saying, because this is actually relevant. I shouldn't talk over Ted Kravitz, you know what I mean? Even if I'm doing a live stream. Right. Jack Doohan's Australian, not British. I'm such an idiot. The thing is, I should follow F2 more closely than I do. It's my own fault, you know. So he's Australian, clearly, from what he's saying. And then he's saying if Daniel Ricciardo was to come back, then there could be 3 Australians. So you've got Piastri in next year. Three Aussies in F1, at the same time. Never happened. It's possible in the next couple of years. If Danny Rick comes back, but I don't think he will. I think, unfortunately, I think Daniel Ricciardo is done after this season. In Formula 1, anyway. I mean, he'll probably make a great career for himself in IndyCar or NASCAR or whatever he chooses to do. World Endurance Championship, maybe. Formula E. I don't really rate Formula E, but you never know. But I think once you go on the sidelines, it's very difficult to get back in. Unless you come with massive reputation, like you're a double world champion or something like that. Then you can make your way back in, but in general, once you're gone, you're gone. Or unless you're really young, if you're still in your early 20s and you get dropped, you've got half a chance of coming back in. Like Albon. Alexander Albon spent a year on the sidelines. He's back and better than ever. So if you're young enough, you can get a second chance in Formula 1. But at 33, I think Ricciardo something like 33, 32, 33. Are you going to get another go at the cherry a year later? Probably not. Vamos. Welcome to the stream, Flabby G. How are you doing, Flabby? How are you doing? How's the practice session going? Amazing. Epic. Like nothing I've ever seen. No. It's yeah. Phenomenal, Flabby. It's not, you know what the what the issue is. It's not even a practice session. It's a test session. You know, so get in. I can't wait till we get to qualifying tomorrow night. I can't wait till we get to the proper stuff. I mean, a normal FP2 session, you can actually read into the times, you can speculate on who's looking good, you can... It matters, you know, FP2 is not critical, but it matters on a normal weekend. But this weekend and last weekend, it matters to the teams to get, you know, it's vital for the teams to get data for the tyres next year, but it's not relevant to this weekend. I suppose unless like the car breaks down or something, then you start thinking, well, now this is relevant. You know what I mean? If the engine blows up, that's relevant. But as terms of like lap times and performance, nope. So it's true. Yeah, it's true. They're testing tyres for next year, exactly, Kim. Oh, we're on an ad break, so apologies for the colours going a bit mad. I've got the TV about this close to my face, you see. I've literally got camera, TV, bang. Yeah. I mean, I could go back here, you know, but it makes no difference. Yeah. Tyre testing, eh? That's the peak of Formula One excitement, you know. Good old tyre test. You can't beat it, can you? You can feel it. Oh. Feel it. Oh. Come on, get back to it. They're even doing longer ad breaks because they know, innit? They're trying to bridge a gap. Andrew Seidel believes FIA penalty for Red Bull doesn't fit the cost cap breach. Well, the thing is, the Alpine boss, what's his name, Otmar Safnauer, he said the penalty's right. He said, you know, draw a line under it. I agree with it. I think you got to draw a line under it now. I think everyone calling Red Bull cheats and all that. Move on, man. I tell you now, the €7 million fine, they can shrug that off. You know, they're a big enough outfit to for that won't make a scratch. What will make a scratch, like I was saying in the first practice session, is the 10% less wind tunnel time. That will make a dent, and that is something that Christian Horner is not happy with at all. Losing another 10% because 10% of wind tunnel time. It's brutal because the thing is, with Red Bull being champions, they've already got the least amount of wind tunnel time. Well, I've been all through this in FP1, but Red Bull have already got the least amount of wind tunnel time, and then to be penalised even further on that, oh, it's brutal. Because you're going to have Mercedes and Ferrari are going to have like what 20% plus more wind tunnel time than Red Bull, which is significant considering that's where you find your performance. That's where you build the car. You build the car in the wind tunnel. You know, this is extremely valuable time that they're losing. So that's where the punishment is. That is where the punishment is. The money, it's not really, unless it was like 50 million fine or like 100 million. Then it's like whoa. But 7 million. I mean, they'd probably spend 7 million. If Verstappen put it in the wall now, it costs them 7 million to get the car out on track tomorrow morning. So it's costs that they can just soak up. If it was a $7 million fine, €7 million fine for Williams or Haas or you know, then ooh, you know, that stings. But for Red Bull Racing, man, I mean, how much have they just won for winning the Constructors' Championship? 200 million more? I don't know how much they've just won. I don't know the prize money these days. I know it's a hell of a lot, though. So what, you're taking 7 million out of that? They'll survive. Put it that way. They'll survive. You're Paulus laughing. What do you mean? Any mini wing sightings? Any mini wings? Yeah, I think Mercedes have brought that front wing again. That newly developed. I'm just listening to Danica Patrick. Sorry, in the yellow flag sector 2. Oh, it's been a crash. Is that Leclerc in the wall? I can't see the number. Red flag. I think Leclerc's binned it. Bad time. Yeah, Leclerc's had a big crash. On where is that? Turn 8. Turn 9. Whoa, Leclerc backwards into the wall. Red flag. Oh, he's ruined it. It's not going to break the bank. It's not Kim. If it was for a team at the back, you know, if it was Williams or something, you go, ooh. But no. But Leclerc has... Wow, that's a bad crash for Leclerc. That's going to be new gearbox, probably new engine and everything. I expect Leclerc to take a grid penalty because of this. Oh, and he just lost the rear end on the entry of turn... Is that turn 8? Turn 8, I think. Oh, mate, no. Yeah, so he turns in, high speed, loses the back end immediately, and into the wall backwards. Oh, it's a new gearbox. Well, it's obviously a new rear wing and all the crash structure at the back. And it's the rear axle as well. All the rear suspension's damaged. Not to mention a gearbox at least. Maybe a new engine. Oh, I mean, that might be even... That's... Bad Pirelli tyres. Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, well, he's on these brand new tyres, but I don't know, maybe... I mean, can you blame it on the tyres? I don't know. Maybe he's just turned in too quick. Probably driver error rather than... Damn. This is the difference, right? I've said this before. Yeah, that's the correct spelling, yeah. I've said this before, and I say it again right now. This is what will stop Leclerc winning a championship. Even though Max did spin in FP1, right? So it's probably not the best day to say this. But Leclerc does make more mistakes than average. Leclerc's always got 3 or 4, 5 mistakes in him per season that where you go, unforced errors, where you go, ooh, he's put it in the wall there. And the thing is, Max, he did spin an FP1, so like I say, it's probably not the best time to be saying this. But Max very rarely makes big mistakes and like stuffs it in the wall and causes big damage. It's rare. Also with Lewis, you know, it's rare you'll see Lewis in the wall on an unforced error. You know, you don't really see it. But Leclerc, for all his immense talent, and, you know, no doubt he's one of the best out there. No doubt in my mind at all. He's one of the fastest drivers in the world. But he does make the odd mistake now and then. And we've just seen another one. He's in the wall. He's written the car off. I don't know how bad the damage is, but it's an entire rear end anyway. You know, and that includes all the suspension and all the flipping... all the rear axle and all the rear of the car is done for. You know, and can you imagine if he was fighting for the championship this weekend? Can you imagine if the championship was going to the wire? You'd see that crash and you go, oh, you know, championship's already over, but that would be significant. Was it him that went the wrong way? No. No, that was Nicholas Latifi. That was funny, that. Do you know, I've never seen a driver do that before. What Latifi did. Oh, Latifi turned into an access road, like mad settings, that. That's mad, that. Yeah, Latifi went the wrong way at the Japanese. I think I was in a practice session as well. He went the wrong way. Yeah, went down a dead end. But it is. I'm not going to say it's easy to do, but I will say I'm surprised no one's done that before, because it was in the rain and it was like foggy as well. It was a horrible day in Suzuka. It's like the start of a poem. It was a murky day in Suzuka. No, it was like, to stick up for him a little bit. The visibility was bad, right? And then there's a fact, as we see the replay of the Leclerc's crash, it's not a good one. But yeah, the Latifi thing where he went the wrong way in Japan, right? To stick up for him a little bit, the visibility was horrible. And it was raining, it was foggy, it was going dark. I'm trying to make excuses for him. So he's not got a lot of visibility ahead of him, basically. And then when you come around 130R in Suzuka, then there's a chicane, right-left chicane. And just before that right-left chicane, there's a right-hand turn onto like that's just an escape road. It's just like a access road for the breakdown lorries or whatever. And he's seen that right thing because he's not got the visibility. It's raining, it's going dark, and he's gone, yeah, that must be it. That must be the circuit. Boom, turns in, dead end. No, so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Yeah, Latifi. And the only other time I've seen anything remotely similar to that is Kimi Raikkonen at Brazil, like 2013-ish. Or 2012, maybe. 2013, probably. Anyway, the year's irrelevant, right? Kimi Raikkonen in a Lotus. I think he'd skidded off. I don't remember exactly how it happened. I think he'd, like, skidded off onto the grass. And ended up not near the track, basically. He'd, like, skidded off into a field sort of thing. And he wasn't near the circuit anymore. He was way back. And then, so he decided, instead of go back across the grass, back onto the circuit, I'll join this bit of road at the side. He joined that bit of road, hoping it would lead him back onto the circuit. So he ends up going down this, like, back route, behind the grandstands and everything. That was a madness. He gets to a dead end. He had to 180 it. Pirouette. He had to come all the way back round, back behind the grandstands again, all the way down, all the way back down the hill, across the grass and back on. But that wasn't right. It was different because it wasn't like on purpose, if you get what I mean. Latifi thought that was the circuit. He's like, yeah, that's where the circuit goes, boom, which is very embarrassing. Raikkonen's was more like trying to find another route back, and it didn't work. But yeah, we see the marshals are now in a scrambling around trying to fix this barrier now. We've got a red flag from Charles Leclerc crash. And yeah, the marshals are scrambling about to clean up all this foam and all the debris that's on circuit to get it back underway again. Great for commentating on. Oh, it's beautiful. Do you know that Latifi? Yeah, that Latifi incident was that weird, where he's gone the wrong way. It was that strange that I didn't clock it. At the time, I thought his car's broken down. That's what I thought. I thought when I saw it, I thought, what's he? In fact, the first thing I said, what's he doing there? It was so weird that I went, what's he doing there? He's broken down. And then I was like, and then he turned round, you know, like an awkward, like 3-point turn to go back where he came from. He did his awkward little 3-point turn, and I thought, he's not broken down here. And then it was a few minutes later, I think someone said something on commentary, or there was a tweet, or there was something later on, and I thought, and someone tweeted it, and they went, he's gone the wrong way. And it was only after the fact, after the session, when I went on Twitter and I saw everyone laughing and I thought, oh shit, he went the wrong way. He didn't break down. That is embarrassing. You know what I mean? That's like, there's like the F1 equivalent of like a player standing on a ball and falling over. You know what I mean? You know, like a player. You've all had that thing where you've stood on the football and gone flat on your back. It's like Mbappe doing that. He's standing on the ball, and then he steps on the ball by accident, flat, and then goes flat out on his back, and looks a right clown. It's the F1 equivalent of that. It's just ridiculous. Like, what are they doing here? They've got a load of screws. All hands on deck at the barrier down at turn 9. Yeah. As they've now recovered Charles Leclerc's Ferrari, it's on its way back to the pits. They're going to cut to an ad break. Oh, anyway, that was a little thing on Latifi. Yeah, that's strange. I didn't even know what was going on. So that says it all, really, doesn't it? Anyway, what this red flag has done is that those 4 drivers that had the... In fact, how many laps has Albon done? Where is Albon on the timing sheet? 13th. Right. Albon is definitely the most unprepared driver this weekend. Definitely. Because not only... Alexander Albon is massively underprepared now, right? Because he's massively undercooked. He's raw. Because he's missed FP1 because they put Logan Sargent in the car, who's going to be racing for them next season. So he missed FP1. Then the first 45 minutes of this session, which is now ticked over, we're now in the second half of the session. See timer, top left. We're now in the second half of the session. So for the first half of the session, Alex would have been allowed to use the normal tyres. That's now timed out. He's only managed to do 4 laps. Look at that. Lap count. 4. So Alex basically, in an hour and 45 minutes, has done 4 laps. An hour of that is because he's not even in the car. So, of course, he's going to be on 0 laps if he's not in the car. But then the 45 minutes that he's just had were crucial. See, look at Russell's done 14 laps. Tsunoda's done 13. And Ocon's done 14. So they've at least got, 13, 14 laps under the belt. Alexander Albon's only got 4 laps on representative tyres. He better hope that these you better hope that as soon as this session resumes in a few minutes when they sort out the barrier, as soon as this session resumes, he's got to be out of the garage, and that the experimental tyres are somewhat decent as well. So flipping good luck, Alex, in the next 40 minutes. So yeah, I think as I understand it now, Russell, Tsunoda, Ocon, and Albon are no longer allowed to use the tyres. They've got to also now switch onto the testing tyres. That's how I understand it. For the remaining 45 minutes of this session. So Alex has missed valuable track time there as Alex Albon. As we're back with the live coverage. We're still under red flag conditions, so there's significant damage to that barrier with Leclerc smashing into it at 100 plus mile an hour. I'm not really surprised. At least it was one of those Tech Pro barriers, so it's like a big marshmallow barrier. Okay, so they've got the gaffer tape out. It looks. I reckon this session's going to get underway pretty shortly. Yeah, the Ferrari's back in the Charles Leclerc's Ferrari has been delivered back to the team. They're just getting it off that flatbed truck. I assume once they get it off this flatbed truck and get it back into the garage, they'll open the pit lane and resume the session. I assume they'll resume. As soon as this Ferrari is back in the garage, as they hoist it down with his smashed up rear end, and those mechanics will be on a late night one, trying to fix that, sort that out for tomorrow morning, Mexico time. Well, no, tomorrow sort of lunchtime. Yeah, Mexico time. Liam Lawson on the pit wall for AlphaTauri. Got his got to go in FP1, did Liam Lawson in the AlphaTauri. And let's hear what Nick De Vries said at the end of FP1. Oh, what the hell's gone on there? Damage. Wait, I need to rewind this. Some strange damage to that Mercedes from first practice. What? That makes absolutely no sense. Oh, they jacked the car up. Oh, it mustn't have been... Oh, I know what's happened. It's not fully tightened. Oh, Jesus. I know what's happened. At the end of FP1, I missed this. I think everyone missed this. At the end of first practice before... Right, so what's happened is, at the end of FP1, Nick De Vries is in the Mercedes. He's in the garage. And I think the nose cone is not fully tightened. It's not fully secure. And they jack the car up, so they're putting all the weight on the front wing and the rear. And they're putting all the weight on the front wing. But because the nose isn't on properly, it just breaks. Oh, it's a stupid... And they lift it up, bang, and it cracks. That is so odd. It's because it's not on tight enough. I think because it's loose, and they've lifted it up and it's snapped. They've snapped they've cracked the nose of the Mercedes at the end of FP1. What a stupid, extremely costly What a stupid, costly mistake that is. As we see the crash, replay the crash on Charles Leclerc, and then I'll fast forward now to live. But Mercedes with the schoolboy error in F1 terms, lifting, putting weight. That's madness. He's doing another replay of it. I've never seen that. Oh, right. Ted Kravitz is going to explain this. This is exciting as it gets, by the way, in FP2. Bang! What? No. They're saying it's cosmetic. They've cracked the carbon fibre on their nose, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, we're getting the session's back underway. So get in. Yeah. I've just been watching replays of that weird cracked nose cone. So I'm a little bit behind live. Catching up now. I'm in fast forward. which Formula 1 in times 3 or whatever speed I've got it on is wicked. Watching F1 in fast forward. Yeah, this is it's mind-blowing stuff. I'm glad they're not that fast. There's no way I could keep up with that. Alright, we've caught up now. We're live. 36 minutes 20 to go. Yeah, I've got the timers bang on. Oh, they're talking about Alonso being reinstated his P7, which is annoying for me because I've done all the stats and now I've got to redo them all. Look, you see, I do all this. Wait there. I'll put it on. Look, right, so I do all this, right? Boom, all the results for all the teams, look. Bang. All the teams. It takes longer than it should. Right, so I've got all the positions that they finish and all the rest of it, right? Now, reinstating all this, and then you've got driver, and then you've got all the teams for that, and then you've got this, the standings, and then, well, there's predictions. Oh, this is a schedule for the weekend, by the way. So you see, I've got a lot going on. But, right, so I do all the flipping team by team. You know, got Alpine and all that, right? But, as you can see, I've got there incorrect now. USA 15th. Wrong. He's been reinstated his P7, which changes everything. Because the guy that was 7th is now 8th. The guy that was 8th is now 9th. The guy that was 9th is now 10th. The guy that was 10th is now 11th. So, all the points are different. Why? Why, after I've done all this, do they then change it? Yo, Gav, how we doing? So, yeah, flipping nightmare. Nightmare for me, my lad. I mean, it doesn't affect the guys that won, like Red Bull. You know, Max still keeps his first place and whatever, but everyone from 7th down and all the constructors' points and everything, it changes all the championship standings because now Alpine will have more than 144. They'll have like 150 odd. So I've got to go back and change it all. So, well, anyway, go back to that. Don't say I've missed it. There's nothing to miss. I'll be honest with you. I'll be straight with you, Gav. You haven't missed nothing. You might have missed an hour, but you haven't missed anything. Well, the only significant thing you've missed is Charles Leclerc has had a rather large incident. Yeah. Leclerc's crashed at turn 8, I think it is. High speed, back of the car into the wall. He's wrecked the entire rear end, the crash structure, rear axle, suspension, rear wing, obviously. Probably need to take a new gearbox, potentially a new engine. I expect to see grid penalty for Leclerc after that. If he doesn't have a grid penalty and he can use the same gearbox and the same engine, I'll be surprised. So yeah, other than the Leclerc crash, you've not missed much because it's basically a test session. It is a test session. They are testing 2023 Pirelli tyres. So it's not even a practice session. You might think, why do I watch along on a practice session? But that, at least you can read into the times and go, and there's a bit of a talking point. You say, they're looking good, they're looking competitive, they're struggling this weekend. And you can speculate on the times and you can talk about the times. When it's a tyre test, good luck. You can't read into everything. Neil's here. Got a Skoda engine going for 200 quid. What do I want a Skoda engine for? Yeah, go on, I'll have it. 180 quid cash in hand right now. I don't need a Skoda engine. Yum, that's so random, that. Might as well have a... You might as well have a set of teacups in 12 different sizes. It's as random as you can get. Anyway, what is the most challenging aspect of being a Formula 1 driver? The fitness, maybe? See, not many people realise that these are absolute top of the level in fitness, and you have to be to cope with the G-forces. These guys are coping with more G-forces than fighter pilots. You know, they hit the brakes at 180 mile an hour. They're pulling 5-6 G. You know, and that's multiple times a lap, multiple times a week. And then you've got the heat of a race like Singapore. The races, you know, they're losing kilos in sweat. You know, these are high athletes at the highest level, and people don't really get that. You know, people think it's just driving a car, but these are very high level. For example, when Jenson Button used to race, and Neil might know this, when Jenson Button used to race, he used to take part in triathlons and win. He used to win triathlons. Why? Because these guys are at the absolute peak of fitness. So that's a challenging aspect, to be in that elite level of where you can just do a triathlon on your day off and win it. You've got to be pretty fit, you know. So there's that, the concentration, the pressure, but probably the fitness level. And you have to have your neck has to be an absolute beast. Yeah, you have to be an ox. Upper body strength, you've got to be an ox. Because the cornering, the G forces through the corners and under braking is unbearable for me and you. Unbelievable. Yeah, Iron Man tournaments, yeah. Yeah, Neil, yeah, if a fighter jet, you know, has got a higher peak, you know, they can pull like 9G if they really do something insane. You know, they can pull like 8-9G. But what I'm saying is, it's comparable to that. You know, they can hit the brakes and pull 4 or 5. You know, it's probably the only two things in the world where you can pull that amount of G. And people, you know, so the general public, you know, your general Tom, Dick, and Harry walking down the road, you know, you ask them about that, and they just say, "It's driving a car, innit? I could do that." No chance. But yeah, Froome Flyer. Is that what they called him? The Froome Flyer. The Froome Flyer. He's a pundit now. And I don't know if you know, but he's one of the pundits for Sky now. You know, like these ex-footballers, they end up in the commentary box, don't they? You know, you see Keane and Scholes, and they all end up in the commentary box. Jenson Button's one of the pundits for Sky. So, you know, he's got the inside information, as it were. I don't think he's here this weekend, but he was there at the last race in the US. I don't know if he's here this week. I've not seen him on the telly this week. Interesting, yeah. Cheers, Ernesto. Cheers, Ernesto, my mate. Skoda did 8 Gs and gearbox. no, Skodas don't do 8 Gs. A gearbox went put bit reverse by mistake. Oh no. What you got? What you got? Skoda? Have you sold your Skoda for spare parts and you've got an engine left, or what's going on with that, Neil? Oh, you said this. You said this before about you're fuming about the council spent so much money on Jenson Button to drive down the road. You told me this about 4 or 5 times. Yeah, he spent 26k for him to bring his F1 car. I went and watched one of those in Manchester. Actually, it might have been the same like tour as it was. Maybe he did Froome and he did Manchester, and maybe he did one in London. But yeah, I went to one of them where they corner off the entire sort of estate and just let him do a few donuts and scream up and down the road a few times. Yeah. Yeah, main town centre doing donuts. Yeah. Jensen visit Froome. Yeah, I went to one. Yeah, in Manchester he did it as well. He's obviously done it in a few towns. I didn't get to meet him though. I didn't meet him though. But I was there. 26 grand. Yeah, traffic management, railings, all that. Man, it's ridiculous. The thing is, yeah, it's 26. The thing is, 99.9% of people don't care, and they don't care. It's only 1 or 2 people like me that's like, "Yay, Jensen!" and like turn up with a little flag and whatever, turn up with a T-shirt to get signed. But generally, the people would be like, "What the flaming hell is this?" So I can understand. Although it is becoming more popular, F1, it used to be a really narrow niche of like nerds. It used to be when I first started watching it 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It was a really nerdy kind of little niche. Now it's become more mainstream because they've got series about it on Netflix. The US market's growing a lot. In the last 2 or 3 years, it's really sort of gone off the charts, really. But it was really obscure when I first started watching it. I'd be the only person that I knew ever watched it. You know, when I was growing up, you know, people like Formula One. You know, what's that? No one had ever heard of it. Where did a wheel spin burn him with scooted tyres? Got a ticket for fudge's sake. Doesn't make sense, does it, Neil? What's going on? He can do donuts and everyone's cheering. You do a donut, you get locked up. Anyway, Mick Schumacher starts a flying lap. Not that it really matters because he's on these new 2023 Pirelli tyres. I suppose the top 3 matters in a way. Russell with a 1:19.9. Tsunoda, Ocon. Hamilton fastest on the... Hamilton quickest on the next year's tyre. Is that something to read into? Probably not. Did you get that picture of that McLaren I sent you, local? Oh yeah, is that like? To me, all the McLarens look the same. They've released about 7 or 8 of them. They look like, to me, they look like Hot Wheels cars. They look like toy cars. Those McLarens. They look like really fragile, don't they? Those. Yeah, I'm not sure. Put it this way: if I had the money to be able to buy one of them, I don't think I would. I think I'd go for a Porsche or something. I don't know. They always look a bit. I don't know. Put it this way: if I had 150 grand to spend on a car, I won't buy one of them. But they do look cool. I mean, they do look cool. It's certainly a showstopper, you know. Certainly get everyone looking twice at that when you've got that parked up outside on the curb. But yeah, they've had road cars for a few years, and to me, every model looks like they're all the same. If you're missing the Senna V Pros years, yeah, yeah, Senna V Pros years was a golden era, wasn't it? But then I saw 2010, 2012. They were very good years. 2010 we had a five-way championship battle that went down to the final round. That was a brilliant year with like 3 or 4 teams winning. And then 2012 you had 7 different winners from the first 7 races. So there's been some barnstorming years. And then last season to be fair was probably the best season I've seen. This season. It's a shame I hadn't thought of this before and started this channel at the beginning of last season. Because by the end of last season, I reckon I would have gained some momentum. Because last season was an absolute banger of a season. 10 out of 10. Despite the controversy where it all ended up a bit of a mess at the end. But what a showdown between Hamilton and Verstappen it was last year. This year, by comparison, if last year was a 10 out of 10 season, this year's been a 4. Something like that. A bit dead, really, in comparison. A lot of food is cooked in Chinese for that. Oh, oh yeah, yeah. To get that McLaren, that's many. That's a lot of takeaways. That, yeah, to get one of them. There'd be more than 6 figures. Them serious money. Ernesto Tiesto entering the Grand Prix next year with proper 12 graphics. Yeah, get sponsoring a team, Ernesto. I think Red Bull's biggest sponsor. I think is something like a $320 million deal or something. Have you got that in your back pocket? No, if you sponsoring a Formula One team is a serious endeavour. You're talking millions. But yeah, just go for it. And SOTS, yeah. Favourite driver's got to be Emerson Fittipaldi. Did you watch it, Emerson Fittipaldi race? You're showing your age there. That's like late 70s, isn't it? No, does he? Well, when was Fittipaldi world champion? Like 72, 73, and then later on at the end of the 70s as well. I mean, you must have been you must have been like 12 years old or something. You must have been a kid watching Emerson Fittipaldi, I'd imagine. Because that's like 70s. But I respect it, it's before my time, isn't it? Won 2 F1 titles as well as 2 Indianapolis. Did he won the Indy 500 twice as well? He's a legend in the game, Emerson. In fact, his grandchildren are now... Yeah, he was a kid. His grandchildren are now working their way up. In fact, one of them took part in the session earlier on. Pietro Fittipaldi is working his way through the junior category, as is his brother Enzo Fittipaldi. Make it into F1. Yeah. Can you imagine Lewis Hamilton racing the Indy 500? No, I don't think he'll. No. Alonso's give it a go. Now, I don't know if you're aware of a thing called the Triple Crown, Neil, where the Triple Crown is the ultimate motorsport achievement, where it's Monaco Grand Prix victory in F1, Indy 500 victory in IndyCar, and Le Mans 24 Hour, which is obviously like sports cars. And I think there's only one man in history who's got the Triple Crown where they've had all three: Monaco Grand Prix win, Indy 500 win, Le Mans 24 Hour win, and that's Graham Hill. That's damn good. That's 60s, you know. I think he's the only man to have all three. And now there's a couple drivers with two. One is Juan Pablo Montoya. He doesn't have Le Mans, but he's too old now. I think he's in his 50s now. Is Montoya, late 40s maybe. So he's getting too old now to achieve the Triple Crown. Fernando Alonso's your other man. He's 40. He's still in F1. Alonso has the Monaco Grand Prix victory, which I think he got in 2007, and has Le Mans victory, which he got a few years ago. And he's trying to win Indy 500 to get that Triple Crown and to be the second man in history to get the Triple Crown. Now, Alonso's had 2 or 3 cracks at the Indy 500, and it is definitely the most difficult of the three to win. It is definitely the most difficult because it's more of a dice throw. It's more of a... It depends more on luck because the cars are virtually identical in the Indy 500. It's so long. There's so many things can happen. It's definitely the hardest to win the Indy 500. There's guys that try for 20 years and have the best team and they're the best driver and they don't win it. And they do it to 25 years and they don't win it. So for Alonso to just jump in and win it, it's unlikely, you know. So Alonso's give it a couple of goes, but he probably won't get that Indy 500 win. So I can't see Lewis doing it. Because if you don't perform well, you're jumping out of your pond, aren't you? So it's a difficult one. Oh, is it free? Oh, is it lag? Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. But I apologise, but there's nothing I can change. But apologies if it did lag. 89 and 93 won Indy 500. 89 and 93. He must have been in his older days then. He must have been getting on for 40 or something. Yeah, stream keeps freezing. Yeah, apologies. Hopefully it's alright now. There's not a lot I can really do. I can just... what does it say there? It doesn't say about frame drops, but... just be the internet playing up or whatever. But yeah, apologies if it is lagging. Yeah, Neil, fine 7 million, 10% research. Yeah, wind tunnel reduction. Yeah, and that's the part that stings. I've already been through it. I've already been through it all. But in a nutshell, the 7 million they can shrug off. They're a huge company. And that's not going to make it, you know. It's like finding a player a week's wage. You know. You find, you know, Kylian Mbappe a week's wage. He ain't on the poverty line, is he? So that's what they're doing. They've had a little fine in their terms. But what it will sting is that 10% reduction in wind tunnel time. That'll sting. Because they're already going to have less wind tunnel time than everyone else. Because there's like a system where if you win the championship, you get less wind tunnel time. So they've won the championship, so they get less anyway, and then another 10% on top. So now they'll get significantly less time than Mercedes and Ferrari, the biggest rivals. So watch this space for 2023. They could be a bit on the back foot. Mercedes and Ferrari could come on strong next year. They is he still lagging? Oh. There's nothing I can do. Anyway, there's only 10 more minutes. There's only 10 more minutes. Yeah, but there's always been politics, Neil. There's always been politics in F1. F1's never been pure. It's never been clean, Formula One, never. Even back in Emerson Fittipaldi's day, I bet there was someone trying to put bloody, you know, 2 engines in the car to go faster. There's always, you know what I mean, Neil? I bet there's always been dirty dealings. It's never been pure, and it's no different today. There's a £145 million cap, so there's a budget cap in Formula One these days. You're not allowed to spend more than 145 million, and it turns out Red Bull broke that, so they spent too much. And so their punishment is this. Fined. Yeah. So in a way, they cheated a little bit. Pushed the envelope a little bit too far. Yeah. So they've, whether intentional or unintentional, they've spent too much money. So, nightmare. Chest infection. I hope you're feeling, hope you're feeling better soon, Neil. Missed about 5 minutes of what I said. Is that for everyone? Am I lagging just for you or for everyone? I don't know. But apologies if it is lagging. Anyway, it's over in a minute. You're only gonna bear it for 10 minutes. At least it's not the race. It'd be worse if it was lagging for the race. You know, it's only a test session because it's not even a practice session. It's only a test session, so we'll be alright. Dodgy's Jim will fix it. Oh, dodgier than that. Yeah, exactly. Bernie Ecclestone is dodgy as Frank Warren. Oh, Bernie was... yeah, Bernie... Bernie's still in court to this day with stuff that he'd done years ago. But every now and then you'll see a new thing where Bernie, you know, he's like 90 odd. He's still... You still see him in court cases now. Flipping mad. I had to go out and back in and miss anything you said about McRae or Lowe. I didn't mention about that actually. Oh yeah, because Neil asked what was a favourite driver, innit? I never even answered that. Oh, I don't know. I don't really have a favourite. Well, no, probably Michael Schumacher because he was my childhood hero. Yeah, probably Michael Schumacher because he was my childhood hero, and then that's why I support Mick now. That's why I support Mick now because of that emotional connection that I supported his dad. His dad was a childhood hero. Now his son's there. That's why I'm like, come on, Mick. Like, feel, you know what I mean? Come on, Mick. So yeah, I had to go out and back in. 2 hours snooze on Demcast, came back to claim last man standing. I don't know if you try to wind me up or you genuinely believe that. I don't know if you say that because you know it winds me up or you actually genuinely think that I did that. Because on a serious level, I didn't actually do that. You know, I swear on my life, strike me down, oh God. I didn't actually do that, Neil. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I started talking about trading strategies. I started explaining my work to you. And you went right to sleep like a baby listening to a lullaby. And that's the God's honest truth. I bored you. I bored you, silly Neil. Is what happened. I bored you to tears. Probably for Damon Hill or Schumacher. Yeah, Damon Hill was a legend, wasn't he? My dad was a big Nigel Mansell fan. Yeah. Nigel Mansell. I'm surprised you're not a big fan of Nigel Mansell, Neil. Like surely that's your era, isn't it? Surely that's when you was like in your 20s, and like Nigel Mansell was a big name back then. Steak was still in your mouth when you eat steak and chips. Oh damn it! Yeah, you got me. Yeah, this steak. Oh, steak and chips. Yeah. We both know the truth, but you carry on down that road if you want. But anyway, you've not been on Demcast for months, Neil. Well, I miss you. We always have a laugh, don't we? No matter who stays up the longest, I'm not bothered. No matter who stays awake the longest, I'll tell you something that is a fact. We always have a good laugh, don't we? You know, there's a good group of us on there. You know, I've always said there's a core group of like 10, 15 people that go on camera. You know, even whether with Jamser as well on his or on Denver's, and there's a group of 10 or 15 of us, and you know, I love it. I love them all. I love you all, innit? That we go on there, have a couple of drinks, maybe on occasion more than a couple, and I do miss you on there, Neil. You know, but Denver's on a clean one at the minute, as you know, so he's not doing them for the next couple of weeks until after his fight, and yeah, and then we'll be back on it. But it's always a good laugh. And trust me, Neil, right? I have looked. There's like other groups of people that you know, go on and chat and whatever. There's nothing like Denver's group, and that's true. That there's other groups of, you know, there's other communities, but no one does it like Denveloper. Nobody does it like Denveloper, and that's a fact. Apart from Aways loves causing drama, so I let it fly over me. Although he has triggered me a couple of times, yeah. But you have to let it fly over you. But he's certainly entertaining. Three streams on a Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. How many points did James Hunt win the 76 championship by? Oh, not a lot. I should know that. I watched that film. What's the film? Rush. It's got to be single digits. It might even be by a 1 point. No, one would be too cliche. I'll say one would be too cliche, surely. I'll say, but it's got to be single digits. I'll say 3 points. One? Was it one? Ah, oh, bloody hell! Was it by a point? Jesus, that's the margin that Kimi Räikkönen won the 2007 championship by a single point. Yeah, 2007 was mad, right? Räikkönen won it, and I think it was something like this. Räikkönen won it with 109 points, and Hamilton and Alonso had 108 each. It was something like that. I don't know. It might have been 108, and then they had 107 each. But it was something like that. We're incredibly close. It was almost a three-way tie in 2007. Madness. Hamilton almost won it in his rookie season. Imagine that, being a rookie and sweeping up the championship. Almost did it. Although they did put him in at the deep end. He did drive for the fastest car in his debut, which is a lot of pressure as well. It was fuming. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, this about what Neil said. Someone stated the other night Mark Govishing developer is a far better footy watch along. No, he never. Did he say that? Oh, someone said the other night that developers is it someone you know from the chat? Is it Neil, or is it some random person that you've never seen before? Oh, Max is in. Welcome in, Max. We're right at the end of the session. It's not even been a practice session. It's been a test session, so we've just been having a chat. But that's what it's all about. Hopefully I'm not lagging out anymore. There was some complaints. Hopefully we're all good. Yellow flag. The stream has been lagging out a little bit, but I hope it's all right now. With 2 minutes to go anyway. There's a yellow flag somewhere for some reason. I tell you what, Lewis Hamilton, right, in P4 there, on the test tyre. There's an Alfa Romeo broke down. But I'll just finish what I was saying. Lewis Hamilton there has actually set a very nice lap time in P4. Because on that 2023 tyre, he's gone faster than the Red Bulls and Ferraris. So maybe there is a tiny bit of something to read into. Mercedes looking good for next year. I mean, I'm scraping the barrel. I'm stretching there, you know. She's in bed. I've never seen them in Denver stream. I bet you found it. I'd be like, yo. Denver gets mentioned. Yeah, man. He's a big, you know, he's a big channel. I tell you which channel is going supersonic. Jordan's. You know that City Extra? That's going supersonic to the moon. They're on a serious winner, them. They'll be at 100k before we know where we are, Neil. They're on a rapid ascension, them. They're the biggest Man City channel that there is now. Maybe one day I'll be the biggest Formula 1 channel. Maybe I'll be the bloody gold bridge of F1 one day. Come back in 2030 and see how we're doing. Remember the name, Neil. Keep an eye out for him. All them super chats, mate. Germany watching the game. Yeah, they both went. Jordan went as well. Yeah, they both went watching the game. 0-0. Oh, gutted, innit? Imagine you go away day like that and it's 0-0. I mean, they'd have had a good time anyway. You know what I mean? They've got steaming and all that, but they probably would have preferred like a 4-3 epic game, you know, 7-goal thriller, but I bet they had a good time anyway. Celebrate a pen at least. You know, you got to take the positives, don't you? Every cloud. Exactly, innit, Max? Boozed or you wouldn't care. They've had like a lad's holiday, haven't they, anyway? 0-0 is dire. Oh, you gutted, wouldn't you? Right, red flag, time's up. That's it, over. We're done. We've managed to waffle all the way through to the end, because that's what practice is about. But yeah, there was an Alfa Romeo broken down at the end. I think it was Zhou Guanyu stuck out on track at the end there, yeah. Yeah, Zhou Guanyu. I don't know what the issue was, whether it's engine conked out, gearbox. I don't think we found out on team radio either. He stopped in the final sector. And that's it for FP2 of what it was. It was more of a test session. Join me tomorrow. I'll be back at, I think it's 10 to 6. Yeah, so I'll be back 10 to 6 tomorrow evening for practice 3. If not, we get to the real stuff. 9 PM is qualifying. So that's when we get to the proper commentary stuff. we get to the real meat of Formula One on tomorrow night, 9 p.m. So I'll be live 8:45. We just have a little bit of a chat before, and then bang into quali, and then the actual race, the Mexico City Grand Prix on Sunday evening, 8 p.m. lights out. I'll be live 7:30. But cheers for bearing with me for that one, guys. I know the stream was lagging out a bit towards the end, and it wasn't the most exciting in terms of on-track action, with it being a tyre test. We got through it. Thank God for Kim, Neil, Max at the end. Who else was in chat? But thank God for Kim and Neil, especially in the second half of that stream. You really come in trumps. Thanks, guys, for so that we could have a chat. Ernesto was in as well, and Gav and a few others. But cheers. Yeah, 7:30. No worries, Neil. You'll be in then. I'll catch you tomorrow, guys. Yeah, like I say, 10 to 6 for practice, and then 9 p.m. 8:45 for quali. See you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for joining. Drop me a like and subscribe if you're into Formula One. Back live tomorrow. See you then.